Kentucky, welcome into the second annual Future All-Star Football game between Kentucky and Tennessee. I'm Jim Tyree, along with former Kentucky player and NFL player Craig Yeast, as we bring you all the action from today's game. First of all, Craig, let's talk a little bit about this All-Star contest involving 8th graders and 7th graders. Now, a lot of people might think that that's a little bit young to get people involved in an All-Star football game, but you're talking about kids that may be on the field for their respective high schools in another year or two.
Well, you know, this is a great opportunity for the 8th graders to come out and have an opportunity to play in an all-star game against a state rival. Some of the coaches will be here from their respective schools. It'll give them an opportunity to see what they look like and see what they have coming in, going toward it, working toward the future.
Let's talk a little bit about what these coaches are expecting to see from these young men. What is their job here? Is it development?
I think it's more of development. I think a lot of guys are going to look for athleticism, see what kind of size, what they need to work on fundamentally to get prepared for their high school years as they walk into their freshman year. You know, it's a little bit of a transition going from 8th grade to high school. So I just want to see, they want to see development and see how they work and see what they need to work on for the future.
And there is some pride involved here. Kentucky lost in a big way last year to this Tennessee All-Star game on the 8th grade level. They'll be looking to bring some pride back to the Bluegrass.
Well, you know, anytime, Jim, that you have a Kentucky blue and Tennessee orange, so to speak, there's always some bad blood there. So the Kentucky kids need to come out today and try to get a win for the state and get a little pride about themselves.
The All-Star game is coming up next. The kickoff just moments away. We'll have it here for you in just a moment. Between the Kentucky-Tennessee 8th grade All-Star, future All-Star, Jim Tyree along with Craig Yeast. It'll be Tennessee kicking off to begin the game. Back deep for the Kentucky Future Stars, number 8, Devin Key out of Lexington Traditional Middle School in Lexington. Also back there with him, Devin Gentry and Zaire Hughes. Hughes out of Lone Oak. They're really high on this young man. He'll be playing wide receiver today. Gentry out of Johnson Middle School. He's a running back. They've said good things about all 3 of them, correct?
Yeah,
right now, good things not happening in the backfield for Mr. Gentry, who took the kickoff on the right side, fumbled a couple of times. Actually checked that. That was Hughes, and Hughes was not able to get on track up to about the 12 after finally corralling the football, and the Kentucky Future Stars will start on their own 12-yard line.
Well, you know, the first order of business for Hughes right there is you got to catch the ball in order to get a return. And sometimes when you drop it, it can either turn out to be a great return or it can turn out to be a bad return. In this case, it wasn't good. Bad field position.
Got to field him right. Spence Jones, the quarterback, he is going to hand off for the first play from scrimmage. Give it to Gentry out of Johnson Middle School in Kentucky. Gentry able to pick up positive yards up across the 15 to the 18. Just a little bit of a off-tackle play to the left side.
Good positive gain to start off on first down, off left tackle. Hit the hole hard there. Great job up front by the offensive line.
That line, I'll run down that offensive line for Kentucky. Quick handoff. This is to the fullback, Jamison White, right out of the city we're in, Louisville, playing for the Louisville Patriots, running back. And he'll pick up a first down across the 20 to the 23. That offensive line includes number 52, Bryant Colvin, manning that offensive line at center. Colvin at a Highland Middle School. You also have 2 guards in Charles Red Smallwood, Somerset, and Tucker Donlin out of St. Athanasius. And then the tackles are Nathan Murray and Wyatt Blevins. Murray out of Bell County and Wyatt Blevins out of Maryville Middle School.
Pretty diverse group of guys there from all over the state. That's what you're looking for in an all-star game. And right now it looks like Kentucky's offensive line is kind of controlling the pace of this game.
Nice little 3-yard pickup on first down. I believe they gave it to Gentry that time, and he's able to get positive yards. 4 plays from scrimmage, and the Kentucky Future Stars with 4 running plays. They'll keep it on the ground. This time, big gain up the middle by the fullback. First man through, and that is going to be Myron Norfleet out of Moore Middle School. Normally a quarterback.
That was a
Check
nice.
that. I've got a couple of names mixed up there. I'm sorry. I'll apologize. Norfleet, the quarterback, and they gave it to Jamison White. So
It's a nice little 23-yard gain right there on a little inside trap to the fullback. Kind of caught the Tennessee's defense off guard. They come back with it again.
And a quick run up the middle again with White, and White is able to gain a couple into Tennessee territory at the 47-yard line. Again, Norfleet out of Moore Middle, the quarterback. I said Jones a while ago. Jones actually the Tennessee quarterback, so I'll get my name straight. And we'll continue here as Kentucky has done nothing but run the football in their first series, 2nd and 7 on the Tennessee side of things. Quarterback trip. Norfleet got caught under an offensive lineman, but hands off to Landon Hurst. First opportunity for Hurst to run the football, and Hurst left side out of Elkhorn Middle.
This is a nice
going to be able to pick up some yards, as a matter of fact.
Nice little quick burst off the left side again to run the inside trap. You know, Kentucky's lining up right now and establishing a line of scrimmage. They're in a double tight, 2-back offense. It's basically a power set, 3 tight ends, 2 backs, and trying to figure out if Tennessee can stop them.
Right now, Tennessee not doing that until this moment. Handoff to Gentry, and Gentry is met in the backfield by number 22, the linebacker Ivan Swindle out of Colonial Middle School in Memphis, Tennessee.
Nice job of Ivan right there, fighting off the blocker to make that play. Very good job by that young man of staying at home, using his hands, getting off the block, and finishing the play. That's one of the things you want to look at in this All-Star game today with the talent.
Loss of 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11. First pass of the game. Norfleet looking. Had a man open, but tipped away at the last moment by the corner who had checked that. It was the strong safety, Carrick Jones. Carrick Jones out of Bellevue High in Memphis, able to tip that away from the intended receiver, Hughes, at the last moment. Would have been a first down, correct?
Well, I think it would have been a first down had the quarterback gotten it out of his hands a little quicker. I think they may have needed something in the flat to try to hold that corner. But great play by the safety there, number 5, and Jones. That was a fantastic play by him.
3rd and 11. First time the Kentucky offense has stalled a bit. Norfleet, little out pattern, complete, and then knocked out of bounds near the first down marker. No, going to be a couple of yards shy. That was Devin Key out of Lexington Traditional, the running back. Key is able to pick up about 9.
That's a nice little play action fake out in the flat. Key catches the ball, gets up the sideline, gets all he can get. I watched Key play a little bit before in middle school. I think he's a pretty good football player. He's going to be a good one in high school. So nice game right there for Kentucky.
Kentucky wants to talk about what they would like to do on 4th and 3. So they call timeout. First one taken in the game, and 8:24 remaining here in the first quarter. Set things up. 2nd annual Kentucky-Tennessee Future All-Star football game with middle schoolers, 8th graders, 7th graders, some playing on these rosters. But, Craig, these guys last year, they played down in the state of Tennessee, and Kentucky got a little butt whooping and then sent back up to the Bluegrass State. They took it on the chin hard on this 8th grade game.
Well, yeah, it's showing right now because the Kentucky team has come out and tried to establish the line of scrimmage. I think they need to probably just stick to what they're doing by running the football and, you got to keep Tennessee off the field. The longer you keep them out on defense and you continue to move the ball and get first downs, you got a chance to win this game. So I think that they need to continue to establish the run game.
They'll probably keep the offense on the field there. A good shot of Rico Hughes, the head coach of the Kentucky Future Stars. It'll be 4th and 3. Jamison White, the fullback, has 31 yards on 3 carries, but they decide this time to go to the tailback. It was Landon Hurst busting through the middle of the line and getting across the 20. A big gainer on 4th and 3. It'll be red zone time for the Kentucky Stars.
Nice job right there of kind of spreading the Tennessee defense out with a little twin set, and then the offensive line coming off, and a nice little quick hitter up the middle off the right side. Big play, first down, Kentucky inside the 20-yard line.
At the 19, to be exact, of Tennessee, they'll go with A fake pitch, misdirection, caught in the backfield is Hurst. They went back to the well, and Tennessee was not fooled. Again, Swindle coming up to catch the feet of Hurst.
Well, that time Swindle done a great job right there of seeking out the play, sifting through and getting underneath the guards and making that tackle. Nice job by Swindle there.
Fellow linebacker Ryan Parker out of Baylor Middle in Chattanooga, Tennessee, coming up to help out his teammate. But again, the quarterback, Norfleet, is catching his feet on his offensive lineman as they step back, Craig.
Well, they need to try to figure out some type of footwork to try to get that fixed as they move on in this game.
All three wide receivers, trips formation to the right side. They'll pitch that way, but not fooled is this Tennessee defense. Another loss as they went to Hurst, and Hurst was not able to escape, getting out there very quickly for Tennessee.
Good.
I believe that was Gooden,
the defensive end, number 90. They lost 3 on that play. He's pretty good. He used his hands right there and got off the block and then ran down the line of scrimmage. That's a pretty big time play right there for a young defensive end.
Emmett Gooden out of Haywood Middle in Brownsville, Tennessee, and he got help from Parker, the linebacker we mentioned a moment ago. 3rd and 14 for the Kentucky Stars. After going gangbusters in the first 6-7 plays of this series, they've stalled just a little bit. Let's see what they do on 3rd and long. Little movement, no flag down, handoff. Will go to the left side. Fighting for extra yards is, I believe, White with the carry, and White is not going to be able to pick up the first down. Will only get back to close to the original line of scrimmage at the 19. It'll be 4th and 10.
Yeah, I don't think Tennessee was fooled at all by that play. You know, they came back with the same little dive play that they ran on 4th down earlier. They just try to run it to the opposite side. Tennessee was not fooled. They were prepared for that play.
4th and 10, the offense stays out. You won't be seeing too much kicking going on. We do have a kicker on the roster for Kentucky. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but 4th downs will pretty much be conversion attempts and a sack on 4th and 10, and there is big Mr. Emmett Gooden once again getting the quarterback sack. Came around quickly on the left end. We'll take a timeout, come back, and see what Craig East thought about the defensive play of Emmett Gooden when we return. All right, Kentucky turns the football over, going for it on 4th and 10. A sack by Emmett Gooden, and he came quickly into the backfield, Craig.
Excellent use of hands coming off that edge right there against the right tackle. Made a great play, sack. Now let's see what Tennessee's offense does against Kentucky's defense.
Spence Jones under center with the I formation behind him and flags everywhere. It'll be the first penalty of the football game. Some motion on that offensive line too quickly. Someone coming off, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty on Tennessee back to the 21.
Well, you know, Jim, as an old offensive coordinator, that's one of the things that you do not want to see to start off the game. You don't want to start off with the penalty.
Tailback is Andrew Goldsmith out of JCS in Jackson, Tennessee. And he's going to get the handoff. He starts up the middle, turns left, gets big yardage, and a first down across the 35 on 1st and 15. It'll be about a 17-yard pickup for Goldsmith.
A nice job off the left side there by the offensive line. Goldsmith finds the nice little seam, makes a nice cut outside, and picks up big yardage on a 1st and long. Great job.
He started middle and then made a nice little cut to the outside.
Nice cut. I mean, that's something you can't teach. That nice vision already as an 8th grader. This kid might be someone to look at in the future.
Goldsmith, a very big tailback. His fullback's actually smaller, Zach Camp out of Brighton, but they like the blocking skills of Camp. This time Camp will get the carry, and he's caught right before he got to the line of scrimmage. A host of blue jerseys, including big number 98, Carlos Love, was in there.
Nice job right there by Carlos, and down inside, shed the blocker, and your linebacker, Alvarez, comes through too and makes a big hit. Nice job by the Kentucky defense on 1st down.
Daryl Collier in there, 25, Damon Lowe, Kammerer Middle School. The linebacker, as Craig mentioned, making the contact in there as well. New tailback is in the game. They're going to give him the handoff, and tripping. Got his feet tangled coming out of the backfield, not being able to pick up very much. It looks like number 30, Brian Tillery out of Maryville.
Well, one of the first things you learn as a running back is to pick your feet up. He just kind of tripped over his feet a little bit there, Jim, and now they're in a 3rd and long situation. See what they come up with.
3rd and 8 is the call after the Kentucky defensive line made a nice stop for no gain on 1st down, and then Tillery tripped up in the backfield. Goldsmith makes a return at the tailback position, and Jones under center. 4-man front for that Kentucky defense. The linebackers looking now, a reverse run here with, I believe that was Tillery, and Tillery not able to get very much yardage before he's cut down. Nice defensive play by Omari Alexander, a defensive back out of Highview Middle.
Excellent play right there. One thing that corners are never known for tackling, but right here he does a great job coming to balance, getting the legs, wrapping him up, getting him on the ground. Great job right there by the corner, Alexander.
Tillery starting from the wing that time, trying to run a little bit of a fancy play there, coming from the wing to the opposite side, but it didn't work as Alexander makes the tackle, and Tennessee will have to punt the ball away. Short punt, end over end, bounces out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Kentucky will take over. Each team has had an offensive series, but neither has been able to put anything on the scoreboard. 3:06 to go in the first. Back in a moment. The Kentucky-Tennessee.
$219 a month on a new Honda Civic LX.
And you know what? If we didn't give you the best price, we wouldn't expect your business anyway. Sam Swope Honda World. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The Kentucky-Tennessee future all-star football game from St. X High School in Louisville. Jim Tyree, Craig East with you. We have about 3:06 remaining in the first quarter. And Kentucky on their 2nd offensive series. Neither team has been able to dent the scoreboard yet. They'll start from their own 34. Quick snap here. Handoff will be going to Jamison White. White had a good series on the good rushing total on the first series, but was not able to get too much there. About 3, maybe 4 yards up to the 38.
One thing you'd like to see him do right there is kind of get a little, after he makes an initial cut, get north and south and get more yards. I think he did a little too much east and west right there, and probably could have got a little bit more out of it, but still, nice little gain off the left side on 1st down.
Kentucky effectively ran the football in their first series, but were not able to get any farther than a 19-yard line. Running play here up the middle, and flags down. Not a big gain, maybe 3 yards by Landon Hurst, and we'll see what the call is. It's going to be a hold against Kentucky. That'll negate the run and bring the football back.
Well, one thing I noticed on that play, even though it was a holding penalty, I noticed there was a little miscommunication in the backfield with the running back and the quarterback. The running back was kind of waiting a little bit for the exchange. It's not something that you want to see.
All the way back to the 29. It'll be 2nd and 15. The umpire today is Orlando Evans, linesman Jerome Draper, line judge Carl Butts. The back judge is Tommy Adams, and your referee, your white hat, is Victor Bush. Long pass downfield is dropped. They keep trying that left side for Zaire Hughes, but the very good defense put on by the safety, Carrick Jones, the second play he's made today.
That was a nice play by Jones right there, staying with it, staying patient, playing the ball in the air. He comes down. Hey, both guys fighting for the football. Defense wins.
Kentucky is getting pressure from that Tennessee defensive line, too. I believe Norfleet probably threw that a little earlier than he wanted to, didn't he, Craig?
Yeah, I think he did get rid of it a little early. But, you know, sometimes as a quarterback, your clock's ticking a little bit after you start to get hit.
What would you know about quarterbacks?
Hey,
I'm just trying to check that out.
I played a little quarterback in high school, but that was a very, very, very long time ago.
3rd and 15. Norfleet looks to pass again. Left side looking for Zaire Hughes, and it's dropped again on defense is Jones, and they keep testing Jones. He keeps rising to the occasion.
Well, Jones is stepping up right now as the safety, and he's making some plays. But, you know, they're kind of making it easy for Tennessee, Kentucky's offense, that is. They're running one-man routes, and I understand they're trying to get the kid to the ball to Hughes, but you got to get some other guys out in the route to make the defense play honest.
Kentucky will punt on 4th and 15. Low line drive will bounce and take a sideways hop at the 40, where it's down by the coverage unit. And Tennessee will have good field position. The future Stars of Tennessee will start 1st and 10 on their second series at their own 40-yard line. We mentioned Zaire Hughes a couple of times. Zaire Hughes out of Lone Oak Middle School in Paducah, Kentucky, runs a 4.47 40 already, Craig. Very special athlete, plays multiple positions, has played quarterback for his middle school team, has a great attitude. He can dunk a basketball with either hand, so that's going to be somebody to watch for coming out of the western part of Kentucky.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You know, anytime you have a kid like that has so much athleticism, he's definitely a kid you want to put on your radar to watch, especially when you know he has 4 years left of high school.
Jones with the quarterback keeper going right side. They faked the run to the left and went right side, and another tackle by Omari Alexander coming from that corner position, Craig. He is taking things to taking control of that right side of the field for the offense of Tennessee.
Well, you know, he looks like the little man out on the field, but sometimes little men play big, and right there he's made 2 excellent open field tackles. Let's see what he comes up with next.
That was the first time we saw Jones in the shotgun. This time back under center with the I formation behind him and another tailback in there. We'll give you the information on the tailback, and it is a flip to the tailback left side, and Kentucky strings it out very well. The tackle made by Ryan Stanfill out of Vincent Lococo out of St. Edward's Middle, the linebacker there. And we heard some good things from Dante Key, one of the coaches for this Kentucky team, about Lococo before the game started, Craig.
Yeah, we did hear some good things about him. Coach Key was very high on Lococo, and you saw right there he was outflanked a little bit and just kind of ran that play down with his speed, made the tackle. Excellent play by Lococo.
Kendall Johnson, the running back that time out of Donaldson Middle School in Nashville, could not pick up the first down. It's 3rd and 7 for Tennessee. Long count. Jones will throw, looking right side. Got a man, and it is caught. The tight end is who picks that one up. Gage Upshaw out of Baylor Middle in Chattanooga. Upshaw with a big gain all the way down inside the 35 of Kentucky. And on 3rd and long, the first team to really get a big pass play is Tennessee.
Well, you see right here, the Alexander bites up on the play fake, and tight end sneaks behind him there, and they just kind of threw it right over top of him. Big play for Tennessee.
Running that tight end out there with the size he has. That's a pretty good size kid, around 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big kid.
Had a big height differential over Alexander that time. They used Alexander's height against him.
Well, I think what they use is his aggressiveness also against him.
1st and 10 from the 34. I formation again for Tennessee. The fullback move, but no flag. And now being chased is the quarterback, Jones. He's going to have to throw the football, and they're going to say he was in the grasp and down at the 48-yard line. It's a sack, and again, Vincent Lococo comes in and helps out on that tackle, but he had a lot of blue jerseys behind him.
Yeah, he had a lot of blue jerseys. I think Eric Woods was the first one to get there and make the play. It was a great job by him and the rest of the Kentucky defense.
There's the sack. Jones tried, but he couldn't. That's the end of the first quarter. No score from St. X High in Louisville. This is Gentry on the punt return, getting up to about the 20, maybe a yard or two before he is taken down by the special teams of Tennessee. Coming up to help on that tackle was Ivan Swindle out of Memphis. We called his name a couple of times. Also in there, Mark Pruitt out of Laverne, Tennessee. Laverne Middle. 10-10 to go here in the second. Kentucky will take over very near their own 20-yard line, but it's been defense. Although Kentucky opened up, moving the football really well, running the football, Tennessee kind of stiffened a little bit midway through that series, and since then it's been all defense.
Well, I think that the defenses are always ahead of the offenses in these all-star games and in these settings. I mean, offensively, you have to have a little bit more time to establish yourself.
Looks like they're going to make them punt it over, some type of penalty. Back to the 46, so movement by that Tennessee line, and Upshaw is going to have to punt it again, and he gets off a better punt this time. And it may have hit a Kentucky player.
It did.
I believe it did, and that will be a turnover. And no, they're going to say he was pushed into it, that it hit the Tennessee player, and that Kentucky will retain possession. Tennessee fans don't like it, and let me tell you, we have a very fine crowd on hand today, and there are a lot of orange shirts out there in the crowd. They do not like the call whatsoever.
Hey, if you look, when looking at that replay right there, it looked like it hit off the Tennessee player's arm, and it did not hit the Kentucky player's body at all.
Once it hits him, Craig, it is a dead ball.
It's a dead ball.
It doesn't matter if it hits the Kentucky player or not. Once it hits the Tennessee player,
good
it's
call
dead.
by the official.
He was right there. From the 22, 1st and 10. Little run up the middle here. The new quarterback in for Kentucky is Castle Hatcher out of Somerset. Somerset middle. Let's take one more look at it, Craig, see if we can get a definitive.
Well, you can see here, right there.
Right, the hand.
Right there,
yeah.
it hits the Tennessee player's hand right there.
Good job. Great camera work, too.
Great camera work and great eyes by the official right there to spot that. Great job.
So Kentucky with a little 3-yard gain, maybe 2 on that one, on 1st and 10, bring up 2nd and 8, and I think that one was just to settle everybody down. White back in at fullback. Quarterback keeper here, I think.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. A little quarterback keep, try to take it up the middle.
Hatcher not able to get very much, maybe across the 25, which was where the line of scrimmage was, up to the 28-yard line for 3. That'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, I think Kentucky needs to establish the line of scrimmage like they did on their first drive. Like I said before, the defenses are always going to be ahead, Jim. I think offensively it takes a little bit more time in an all-star game setting. You don't have enough time, and there's a lot of timing involved in offense. So, you know, look for the second half maybe for things to pick up offensively.
They have Devin Gentry coming out wide to the right, but Kentucky doesn't like the setup. Coaches want to talk about it. They're going to call a timeout, and it will be Castle Hatcher at quarterback for a 3rd and 5 call when we return. It's Kentucky, Tennessee, the future All-Stars. No score midway through the second.
Extra required. Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in our coverage on FSN.
Kentucky with a turnover. Matthew Smith gets an interception deep in their own territory, and now they'll go back on offense. 37-yard line is where Kentucky will start. Back in at quarterback is Hatcher. He'll hand it off to Gentry, and Gentry stood up at the 40-yard line. Actually, no, that's not Gentry. I thought it was 3. It's Marcus Clark. Clark out of JCTMS here in Louisville.
Well, he hit the hole quick right here and had a nice little seam, and then
met the waiting arms of
59,
Ethan Shores.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, yeah, you're right, Jeremiah Jackson.
Jeremiah Johnson comes across and makes a good play.
Jackson out of Ultawa Middle in Chattanooga.
Again, a nice little seam again there.
This time coming up, I believe that was Jackson again on the tackle.
It was. And it looked like Jackson's coming up with some force. So you see Jackson, he sifts out, reads the play, and comes through and makes a nice tackle on the ball carrier there. Excellent job.
And that is Marcus Clark again on the carry. Clark with a 4-yard carry and then a 1, maybe 2-yard carry. So it'll be 3rd and 4. That's what we'll officially call it here from the 43 on their own side. Hatcher to throw on 3rd and 4, gets flushed. Will escape to the left side. Can he pick up the first down? He is very close when he gets tackled near the 48. And let's see where they spot this, but it was extra effort on Hatcher's part to even get close to that marker.
Well, it was great effort by him and Jackson on Tennessee's defense. Hatcher put a nice little move here. You see a nice little play fake. Hey, he escapes the pocket, makes a nice little move here to try to buy him some time. It really doesn't work, and he fights and fights and picks up the first down. Great job by Hatcher.
He does pick up a first down at the 47. Jackson did everything he could to keep Hatcher from picking up those last couple of inches, but when he flipped him over, it looked like that was what was enabling Hatcher to pick up the first down there. I formation behind him. This time they're going to try Jamison White, I believe, who's back into the game, and White got right near the pile and then pushed back. Forward progress may have gained him the 46. He's actually going to lose a yard on this play.
Yeah, there was really nothing there. Nice job by the defensive tackle right there.
That's Jackson Hensley out of Maryville.
Hensley, yeah, that was a nice job, just kind of fighting through the shoulder of the guard and making that play.
We mentioned him a couple of times in the first series, but he's been quiet since. Back into the spotlight with that tackle. Getting through that offensive line to pass on 2nd and 11. Wide open is Reese West. And West will get down the sideline, out of bounds at the 37, and we have flags everywhere. Greg, I'm betting this may be a face mask.
I think it's going to be a face mask. It was a nice job out in the flats. That's what Kentucky needs to do. They need to get the ball out in the flats to hold that defense and make them honest. He picks up a nice block out in the flat, too, by Haynes.
It is a face mask, personal foul. That'll give Kentucky great field position, tacking 15 on to the end of that great pass play. Reese West, first time we've talked about West today out of Crosby Middle School, and he picks up a big gain on the pass play and then the penalty on the end of it.
Yeah, that was definitely a 15-yard face mask. He kind of twisted his head all the way around there.
As Craig said, though, he was wide open coming off that left side, then got a great block as he turned to make his way downfield. The 22 with Hatcher under center. They'll go misdirection here. Handoff to Landon Hurst, and Hurst inside the 20 down to the 18.
Nice little gain right there on the inside trap. I think the play developed just a little slower than it has been, but still, hey, 5 yards is 5 yards.
39 penalty yards right now on Tennessee's future star team. It's a gain of 5 on Hurst's run. It'll be 2nd and 5 here from the 18-yard line. Hatcher, muddled handoff, but they're able to get it to Hurst inside the 10, inside the 5, down to the 4, and it's a fumble at the end of the play. Hurst loses the football, and the official says it is Tennessee with the recovery. Looks like Jeremiah Jackson with the tackle, and he may even have recovered the football at the end of the play.
Wow, what a great effort by everybody on this play. You see Hurst takes the ball, cuts through the hole, sheds a tackler, and then he just fighting for extra yards. He just kind of loses the ball, and Jackson comes up with the fumble.
Jackson is everywhere on this football field today. 2 minutes left to go here in the second turnover of the game. This time Tennessee gets the benefit. And there's Jackson trailing everything, picking up that football.
Salisbury causes that fumble. Excellent hustle.
Rashawn Freeman in there as well out of Ooltewah. And the carry here goes nowhere by Tennessee. On the carry was Andrew Goldsmith. And he's not going to pick up very much. Clock running now. Tennessee, after getting the turnover, may be happy to get out of the half with just a 0-0 score.
Hey, well, anytime you get in this situation, you want to get out of the half. You don't want to do anything silly. You get the ball back in the second half. But if you have an opportunity to make a big play, you want to try to take it. But you only want to take that opportunity if it presents itself.
Handoff again to Goldsmith, and he is stood up at about the 8. He may have fought for the 10. New quarterback, I think, is in there as well for Tennessee.
Looks like he might have picked up about 5 on that. Fighting hard for yards right there.
Going to get 3rd and 5 coming up. Get the quarterback here. Believe back in is Spence. No, it is Elrod still in there at quarterback.
Yeah, Elrod is still in, yes.
Under a minute to go. On a 3rd and 5 call. Kentucky with no timeouts left, or pardon me, 1 showing on the scoreboard. Not sure if that is accurate or not. And a stop right here at the 14. It'll prevent Tennessee from getting the first down, but unless Kentucky has that timeout and uses it here, we may be very close to ending this first half. The whistle blows with 18 on the clock.
Well, Jim, it looks like Tennessee and Kentucky is going to be content to allow the clock to run out and go in at halftime and 0-0 and make some adjustments, come back out in the second half and go at it again.
It is all defense here in the first half. We've got big goose eggs on both sides of the scoreboard. The second annual Kentucky-Tennessee Future All-Star Football Game. No score as we get to halftime. We'll return and continue in just a moment.
Sam.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in our coverage on FSN.
Kentucky-Tennessee Future All-Star Game. 8th graders out there performing to date. It's been all defense. 8:35 to go in the third quarter. And no score up there. Tennessee taking over after stonewalling Kentucky inside the 10-yard line on 4th down. New quarterback in there for Tennessee is Austin Kirby. He'll hand off. Big run by Austin Pope. Pope inside the 20. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Tennessee Future Stars.
Sproles.
It is Sproles. Pardon me, I said Pope, but it's number 2, Shannon Sproles, out of Tyner Middle School in Chattanooga. A 92-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage in the second half.
What a big play right there by the Tennessee offense, and Sproles hitting that hole. They kind of ran that reverse action, and instead of giving the ball on the reverse, they gave the ball to Sproles off tackle. He found the seam and just outran everybody, a sprint to the end zone. He wins the race.
Got a penalty for excessive celebration, I believe, on Tennessee, but that's not going to affect the touchdown. They're going to put the 6 on the board and now try an extra point. Coming on to try that extra point, pardon me, Craig, Brandon Nickel out of Robertsville Middle in Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
This is one of the things that, in a middle school all-star game like this, you really want to see if they can snap it, if they can hold it, and if they can kick it through the uprights. And
it is up. It looks like he may have done it. Yes, he did.
That's
Brandon Nickel.
That's something that is good to see. That's a good thing for Brandon Nickel to be able to come in and kick an extra point in a game like this. To go back, that was a case right there of Kentucky having every opportunity in the world to take advantage and go on top, and they kind of squandered their opportunity. Tennessee's defense, they had that bend but don't break mentality, and then they got all the momentum right there, and then boom, first play from scrimmage, a little reverse action, hit him off tackle, and he races Sproles for 92 yards.
And the defense wasn't ready. They just weren't ready for that play.
No, that was a big play.
Tennessee's coaching staff, we mentioned some of Kentucky's coaching staff, but the head coach Todd Kelly, former UT Vol and NFL player himself, also Vic Wharton, Brad Justice, Kendrick Wade, Trent Anderson, Mose Phillips out of E.A. Cox Middle School, and Glenn Campbell. We talked a little bit with Coach Phillips before the game.
We did.
He played at Tennessee when you were in Kentucky.
Yeah, he did. We had some pretty good battles back in those days, but unfortunately those guys across the line got the better of us.
So Nickel will kick off after the big run by Sproles, 92 yards for the touchdown. Tennessee draws first blood, and taking the football is Key at the 15-yard line. He'll try a seam at the 30, get through that, finally taken down as he crosses the 40-yard line to the 42. Devin Key, a nice return of about 30 yards there.
Well, it's a good job of catching the ball and getting north-south and then finding a little seam and getting all you can get. I mean, he was probably a man away from maybe taking that one all the way. Right now, Kentucky's got to find a way to handle the adversity that they just had and kind of bounce back and find a way to make sure that they stay in this game.
Hatcher is back in at quarterback. He'll hand off to White. White left side, showing some speed. Gets around and finally knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Getting up to make that tackle, I believe, was Carrick Jones of Tennessee. But a nice run and a nice answer. It wasn't a score, but a nice answer by Kentucky on the first play from scrimmage after Tennessee scores the first touchdown. There's a look at Todd Kelly, the head coach of the Tennessee Future Stars.
I tell you what, that was a fantastic job on the left side by the left tackle. I believe is Blevins. Done a great job of caving that left side in.
This time it's Kahn. Kahn will get up across the 35 to the 34. Just a couple of yards for Jerome Kahn. As Kentucky tries to answer, they're down a touchdown now.
Well, they're off to a good start. You know, they got off to a good start with a nice return, first of all, and then they picked up some big yardage on first down. And, you know, they just need to, you know, try to establish the line of scrimmage and see if they can bounce and respond. And Tennessee's got to try to find a way to stop the onslaught of Kentucky.
Whistles, they were going to come from the end that time, try to get the ball to Gentry. But some movement on that line for Kentucky will back them up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 13. White's back in the backfield, or he was for that play. He was the only back in the backfield. 10 carries, 56 yards for the young Jamison White out of Louisville here.
Well, Jamison is having a pretty good day today. Offensive line's doing a great job for him up front. He's picking his way through there.
And he's going to get another chance. 11 carries and now 60 yards for Jamison White. He's been able to do it between the 20s, but once the red zone comes around, it looks like this team kind of goes away from him a little bit. They went to Kahn the last time for a couple of carries.
Yeah, you know, I like Jamison. He's a pretty good sized young man, and he's going to have a pretty good future moving forward as he goes into high school. You know, he's pretty straight ahead. He's a straight ahead runner. He's got a little shiftiness to him, and he's a physical kid. So I believe they need to keep feeding him.
3rd and long, 3rd and 8. They send Gentry in motion. They'll give it to him. He tries to cut back inside. Tennessee was not fooled. He'll get to the 33, and that is all. Nice tackle that time by Tennessee's number 54, Ryan Llewellyn, out of Seymour Middle School. Seymour, Tennessee.
Seymour, Tennessee. That was he said, I want to see more, and he made a play right there.
Once his name called Moore, he got it called on that play. Chased it down. So 4th down now and 7 to go. Kentucky's offense will stay on the field. They are in Tennessee territory.
This is going to be a big play in the game right here as far as momentum. Kentucky needs to come up with a really good call here to try to pick up this first down.
Hatcher will go from under center. Overloaded line on the right side. And they're going to throw across the middle. Complete. First down at the 19. He hits the big tight end. That's number 82, Blake Asher out of Leslie County.
Blake Asher is a big target. That time, he done a good job of just being patient and making sure that he completed the football. I mean, when you got a big target like Asher, man, you got to find him.
Asher was 16 yards on the completion, on the reception, pardon me.
Nice pickup for the Kentucky offense.
1st and 10. They're in the red zone again. This will be their 3rd trip in the red zone, Craig. They've come away with no points today. Hatcher looks over that overloaded line right side. This time, Jamison White carry inside the 15, down to the 13. And a big pickup of 6 on first down. For the most part, Craig, Kentucky has started with 2nd and short in most of their series, most of their drives.
Well, it's obvious that they're definitely controlling the line of scrimmage. The problem is when they get down into the red zone and they get inside that 10-yard line, the Tennessee defense, they stiffen up, and those running lanes kind of tighten up a little bit. And we'll see if they can establish a touchdown this drive.
Kahn this time caught in the arms of Jeremiah Jackson. Jackson with another tackle on his resume this afternoon. That young man is going to be a player once he gets to the high school
I
level.
really like this kid, Jackson. He's a big physical linebacker. Right now, he is really patrolling and making plays everywhere on the defense. He's sideline to sideline, and he's downhill. Very physical.
8 tackles for him. 3rd and 5 coming up with 4:20 remaining in the third quarter. Good look there at Jeremiah Jackson. Kahn is the only back in the backfield. Gentry and Hughes off to the left. Overloaded line to the right side. Fake the handoff. Hatcher curl to the left, trying to get away. Does inside the 10, the 5, down to the 1. Nice run by the quarterback, Castle Hatcher. There are 2 quarterbacks today, Norfleet and Hatcher. Craig, Norfleet more the passer. Hatcher shows fleet of foot right there.
Hey, Hatcher does a good job. A nice little play action fake. He gets around the edge right here. Hey, he sees that he doesn't have anybody open, so he takes it upon himself, outruns the defense. Hey, gets north and south once he gets out there, picks up a first down. Hey, Kentucky 1st and goal. Let's see if they can punch it in right here.
Ryan Parker, the linebacker, had a shot at him, but he just couldn't catch up to him. Tennessee calls their first timeout of the afternoon, and they want to talk about it with Kentucky. A 1st and goal at the 1. Castle Hatcher has Kentucky knocking on the door. Can they answer and tie this game? We'll find out next.
What's the white guy's name?
3:53 left to go here at St. X High in the third quarter. St. X in Louisville, Kentucky. Jim Tyree, Craig Yeast with you, bringing you the action of the Kentucky-Tennessee Future All-Star Game. You're looking at 8th graders down on the field, a couple of 7th graders mixed in there. But Kentucky is looking at a 1st and 1 with their offense. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Tennessee just scored a few moments ago on a 92-yard touchdown run by Shannon Sproles. And Kentucky is trying to answer. 2 backs in the backfield, including White and Gentry. Much more bunched together. Hatcher tries to push his way in. Did he? No signal. Yes. Touchdown Kentucky. Castle Hatcher. 2 running plays in a row, 1 for 13, and the last one, the most important, a 1-yard touchdown run right behind his big center.
You know, hey, they punched it in right there, but you got to give it to the Kentucky offense. Excellent job of, responding. It was a nice little drive they put together.
They could have hung their heads.
Yeah, they could have. They took it all the way down, scored. Now let's see if they can make the extra point and tie this game.
The kicker putting it up and through. Extra point is good by number 89, Tyler Garcia out of Johnson Middle School. Plays a little defensive end, as you can see. Big boy on the screen there.
Big
but
boy.
Also has got a foot that he can put the football through the uprights. We have a tie game at 7-7 with 3:48 to go in the third. Another look at Hatcher's push right behind his big center. That's Bryant Colvin out of Highland Middle School. 24 yards on the ground, rushing for Castle Hatcher, the quarterback.
And 1 big pass play to the tight end.
On a 4th down play.
A big 4th down conversion to Asher. Yeah, excellent.
Matter of fact. So Kentucky is able to tie this game up. They'll be kicking to Tennessee here in just a moment to see if the Tennessee Future Stars, what their offense will respond with now as we get deep into this football contest. 3:48 to go in the third. Craig, the coaches, at halftime, they probably made an adjustment or 2. Difficult to make really a whole lot of adjustments in an all-star game like this. You've only worked together for about a week. But now that you're at this point, both teams have scored. What are the coaches telling their players on the sideline?
I think right now, if you're Kentucky's defense, you're saying, hey, we've been playing great defense, for 2 quarters. We gave up 1 big run. Let's make sure that we don't allow the big play to happen again. Let's make sure we continue to establish the line of scrimmage from a defensive perspective. Offensively, hey, continue to do what you're doing. On the other side, Tennessee, let's find a big play again.
Kick bounces at the 25, taken by number 81, Gage Upshaw, and he'll fight his way through. Flag down on the play back at the 25 where Upshaw took the football. This may not start from the 33 where Upshaw was tackled. This may come back a little bit.
Well, it's going to go back. It's going to be a legal chop block, a legal block below the waist.
It is. Good eyes there, Mr. Yeast.
Well, anytime there is in the kicking game, the offense, the returning team can never block below the waist. And you can see right here, 30 right here, he clearly blocks this man below the waist.
Tillery there, the offender, and the ball all the way back to the 19-yard line. 78 penalty yards now or 73 penalty yards on this Tennessee team. They have had a flag or two fall. Most of the time they've been big ones. Those personal foul calls. They had a face mask earlier and then the big chop block penalty there.
Yeah, I mean, there haven't been a lot of penalties, but the penalties for Tennessee have been, like you said, they've been the not your garden variety, so to speak.
Quarterback in is Austin Kirby. New quarterback into the game for this Tennessee team. He's going to operate out of the shotgun, and we have a motion penalty against Tennessee. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot. I said 78 earlier. Now it is 78 penalty yards on this team. And Kirby will not get a chance yet to take a snap, but he had lined up in the shotgun. There he is. Coach Todd Kelly of the Tennessee All-Stars. Kirby, quick throw, right side, had a man, it's complete, and then a knee down at the 19. Not going to get too much out of this. I believe the pass was completed to Chandler Viscardis. Viscardis out of Hardin Valley Middle in Knoxville, Tennessee. First catch of the game for him.
Well, there haven't been a lot of passes in this game, but I can tell you that that was a pretty good throw and catch, but you know, it was even better tackle right there by Daniels, because I believe if he don't make that tackle, then there might be a little run after catch.
David Daniels will be playing his football in this very field in high school. He'll be playing for St. X. Handoff to the second man through. Took a long time to develop. I believe that was Tillery, the second man through. We'll see who comes off the bottom of that pile. But I think Tillery, and he just was not able to get much going.
Yeah, I think it was Tillery, but it was looked like they were trying to run a little belly play right there, a little fake to the fullback and give to the back. But slow developing play. Kentucky defense just snuffs it right out.
So 3rd and 9 coming up from the 15. 3rd and a long 9 for the Tennessee Future Stars. Kirby under center this time. Third quarterback used in the game. Handoff doesn't hardly even take place before big number 56, Wells Purdom from Lone Oak Middle comes through to make the tackle. And Purdom busted through. That handoff was almost in his belly.
Purdom looked like he was trying to run the ball. He just kind of knifes through right away off of the snap of the ball, reads the snap well, beats the guard, and makes an excellent play in the backfield. Big play for the Kentucky defense and Purdom.
Purdom and Zaire Hughes, two very highly touted athletes at this level, both from Lone Oak Middle down in Paducah. They've got something in the water in the western part of the state. Purdom with his second tackle. He's an all-state middle school performer. Tackle for loss all the way back to the 10-yard line. Let's see what happens here as Tennessee needs to punt. Back to punt is number 81, Gage Upshaw, and we have, I believe, motion or a penalty of delay of game, one or the other, on Tennessee.
Again, right now, it looks like the penalties are beginning to pile up on the Tennessee side. It's not something that you want to see as a coach. You want to try. They need to probably get their guys settled down a little bit. Just talk to them. Hey, get the cobwebs out. It's still a football game, and let's get in it.
Upshaw in the shadow of his own goalpost here. Gets the punt away. High, end over end. Not going to be terribly long, and it bounces out of bounds at the 26. Only about 20 yards total net on this punt. And Kentucky will have great field position to start another drive, and a really good opportunity here for them if they can run the football the way they've been rushing the football.
Well, like we talked about, the defense for Kentucky, hey, they stood up right there. Hey, they've attacked the momentum. Now the offense of Kentucky has to make sure that they establish the momentum and, hey, put the ball in the end zone again.
They've got that big tackle over on the right side, Nathan Murray out of Bell County Middle School, an all-state middle school performer. And the way Colvin has played at center, running right behind those two athletes, very nice. This is a quick tackle. Tried to hand off quickly to Marcus Clark, and he was met right away by, you see him in your screen, big number 90 there. That's Emmett Gooden. Gooden had a good first half, but slow to get things going again here in the second half.
Yeah, it looked like Hensley also was in there. Those guys on that left side trying to establish the line of scrimmage for the Tennessee defense.
Under a minute to go now in the third quarter. Kentucky with a 2nd and 10. No gain by Clark on the run. And a fumble still loose. Kentucky loses it. Tennessee picks it up. That is going to be the linebacker Parker, who picks it up. Another turnover for this Kentucky team. They have 2 on the afternoon, and they give it back to Tennessee with good field position. And we've got a hurt player for Kentucky down at the 31-yard line. That is, I believe, the quarterback. Norfleet.
Yeah, that's Norfleet's down. You see right here, he kind of gets knocked over.
I believe his own player landed on his leg.
Yeah, it looked like his big guard was pulling there, and he kind of tripped over top of him, fell on top of him. So let's hope that young man is okay. You see right here, the 97, the guard pulls and fumbled snap, kind of falls on top of him.
That's Isaiah Arnold, who, of course, it was totally unintentional, from Jefferson County Traditional Middle School. Offensive lineman Isaiah Arnold fell on his leg, and let's hope they're taking, of course, any situation like this, Craig, you're going to take extra special care, take as much time as you need to kind of look and make sure that this young man doesn't suffer a very, very serious injury.
Well, yeah, you want to take your time. We're going to hope for the best and hope it's something minor that he can get up, and, you know, he's on his feet now. It looks like he's going to be okay. Let's hope he can come back and return to this game.
Walking gingerly, but under his own power, so that is good news. With 45 seconds, a little over 45 remaining in the third quarter. Jim Tyree, Craig East with you from St. X High School in Louisville for this event. It's the Kentucky-Tennessee Future All-Stars Football Contest, the Classic, as we have middle schoolers down on the field showing their football prowess. Tie game right now at 7-all. Tennessee has good field position at the 44, their own 44. And a pass across the middle, picked off! Picked off by Lococo. And it'll go the other way down the sideline. One man to get around. Taken down inside the 20 at the 17. Vincent Lococo stepped in front of a pass intended for the wide receiver on the right side. And a 38-yard interception return after picking that one off. Second turnover of the game for Tennessee.
Excellent play by Lococo right there.
Hands to the back, I believe, or block in the back.
A little block in the back.
On the return, but that will not negate the turnover.
Nice job right here. The ball was tipped a little bit. They ran a little shotgun, a little tight end pop right there. Ball's tipped, so it kind of floats a little bit. Lococo picks it off and then gets up the sideline and gets all he get. Hey, as soon as you get that interception, that's right. What you want to do here is, hey, you want to get north and south right now. You want to try to turn it into a score. He does a great job right here of getting up the field. Unfortunately, there's a block in the back, but Kentucky, again, hey, you give one away and then you take it away.
Spence Jones, the quarterback, that's his second interception of the day. He intended that to go to Austin Parker. Kentucky on the defense again. And a little misdirection play here to Landon Hurst. Hurst will get about 7, down to about the 36-yard line.
That little inside trap to the left side has been working all day with big Isaiah Arnold pulling around to lead the way. That's been a good play for Kentucky all day.
When Arnold's not been in there, it's been Wyatt Blevins. You mentioned him earlier. Those guys have been switching out very well.
Right. It's a
So
good play for Kentucky.
We're going to take a timeout at the end of the third quarter. We have a tie game at 7-all. Don't go anywhere. This thing is coming down to the wire. We have the final quarter of action coming up for you when we return. Two turnovers per team, 2 interceptions for the Tennessee Future Stars. A couple of fumbles for Kentucky. But right now, Kentucky has the momentum as they just got a 38-yard interception return off Vincent Lococo's interception. And they have the football at the 42 of Tennessee, the 36 of Tennessee, with a 2nd and 4 coming up as we begin the fourth quarter. Jim Tyree, Craig East with you for this final frame of action. Future Stars, they're still looking at Norfleet, the quarterback, Myron Norfleet out of Moore Middle. He's still being attended to by the trainers on the sideline. So in at quarterback is Castle Hatcher out of Somerset Middle. 2nd and 4. I formation, they're going to give it to Kahn, and Kahn just can't seem to get started. Jeremiah Jackson.
There's that
with his
Jackson
ninth
guy
tackle
again.
of the afternoon.
He is all over the football field as Jeremiah Jackson. I look to hear a lot of things about him. I don't think they've been able to block him all day. He's sideline to sideline, and he's downhill. And if you look at this kid, he's in 8th grade. He looks like a high school linebacker right now.
And 3rd and 5 coming up now after the 1-yard loss on Jackson's tackle. Important 3rd down play coming up for Kentucky here. Hatcher will throw, gets pressure, now throws. It is dropped, almost picked off. Having a shot at it was number 19, Ulysses Strawder out of Baylor Middle in Chattanooga. This roster for Tennessee dotted with athletes from Baylor Middle in Chattanooga. They are really putting out some football players. Almost had it. Going on the defense that time was huge just to try and keep the player from making the interception.
Yeah, I think the ball, again, maybe a little late, again, on that one-man route. He had the ball right in his chest. He went up at the highest point, just couldn't quite haul it in.
So Kentucky will punt. Looks like Houchins or Purdom is punting. And the ball taken at the 5 and tackled at the 1. Wow.
Landon Hurst with a huge play for the Kentucky coverage team.
Unbelievable hit, and the tackle will be made at about the 3-yard line. So great special teams play. You mentioned it, Hurst on the tackle. It was Tillery who took that ball. And Craig, a young player, you got to tell him inside the 10. You returned a few punts in your lifetime. Got to let that one go.
Yeah, you got to know where you are on the field. The rule of thumb is you put your heels on the 10 and you do not back up. But, you know, he's in 8th grade, and where he plays, he's probably used to catching the ball anywhere, making anybody miss. Well, here you got some of the best that Kentucky and Tennessee has to offer, and Hurst comes flying down the field. He catches that ball inside the 10, inside the 5, and big play by the coverage team for Kentucky.
Down inside the 3-yard line. Remember what happened the last time that Tennessee was inside their own 10. They had a 92-yard touchdown run. So we'll see what they do here. First play from scrimmage is not going to get them too much. Maybe up to about the 5-yard line. I believe that was a quarterback keeper that time with Spence Jones.
Nah, it was a off-tackle play. But speaking of that 97-yard run,
and it's Elrod in there. Elrod back in at quarterback.
And they just put Sproles into the game. So where you think's coming here? I'm going to give that young man the football.
Sproles out of Tyner with a Michigan-like helmet. You can see him dotting the I right here. Elrod way under center will give it to the first man through. I believe that's Tillery. Tillery able to bounce off a couple of tackles. And it's not Tillery. It's actually Will Austin. Will Austin, who has a nice little run. Or is that Camp? It is Camp. Sorry,
Camp.
I've switched around here. 8 looks like 9, and those white uniforms with those orange numerals, hard to tell sometimes.
A very physical run right here. Runs over one guy, bounces off another, runs over 2 more, drags a few. A little Mike Allstott action right there. Good physical run right there.
Finally holding on for dear life was Matthew Smith, but Camp, who is your starting fullback, we hadn't heard much from him. He's able to pick up the first down. Running room and breathing room now for Tennessee as they were able to get out to the 20 that time on the 15-yard run. That time it was Sproles who got caught very early, and coming through was big number 89, Tyler Garcia. The kicker and defensive end made the play that time.
Big kicker, big D end. Hey, I can kick, I can tackle. What else you want me to do, Coach?
Play coming in, loss of 1 on the run by Sproles. I think Kentucky's defense was keying on him that time with him back in the game. They were not going to let him bust off another run, especially since all they saw was the back of his jersey the last time he was able to get into the secondary.
No doubt about it. Don't want to see that happen again.
Only back in the backfield this time, but they put 2 wings to the right. 1 wide out, also on the right side. Looking to throw is Elrod, throwing it long and caught with 1 hand. Wow, unbelievable catch for Tennessee. And that is Emmett Gooden. 79-yard pass play. Not Gooden, number 20 actually on the catch, Adrian Thomas. Haven't mentioned him yet today, and the Tennessee fans with something to root about after the 79-yard pass play for Thomas out of Hunter Middle School in Chattanooga.
Great concentration right here by Hunter to fight off the defensive back, catch the ball with 1 hand, and then outrun the defense. Here's another good look at it right here. Just fights off the defense, makes a cut, catches the ball with 1 hand, and then turns his little legs on and runs as fast as he can. A little weave right at the end to get in the end zone. Great play.
Had a lot of size on Alexander, the corner that time. Here is the extra point attempt. It is up, it is through, right down the middle, and good. And Tennessee takes a 14-7 lead. 2 big plays in this game. A big run by Sproles and a big catch by big number 20, Adrian Thomas. And Tennessee leads by 7. $8:39 to go in the game. Kentucky now, after allowing a couple of big plays, are behind the 8 ball. They have to score and score quickly if they want to tie this thing up. 102 passing yards today for the quarterback for Tennessee. That is Landon Elrod out of McCauley Middle in Chattanooga. And Elrod puts his team up by 7 with that big pass play to number 20, Adrian Thomas. Thomas just rumbled his way down. 1 hand brought that thing in. Nice job.
Right now, you know, it looks like Tennessee is really winning the battle. But in reality, if you're watching this game at home, Kentucky is pretty much dominating this game at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. The difference is Tennessee has 2 huge plays on the offensive side, 1 in the run game, 1 in the pass game. Right now, those 2 big plays are the difference in the game.
Kentucky, as Craig said, have controlled the line of scrimmage. Here's the kick. Taken by, I believe this is Hughes at the 12. He'll get up to the 21. Taken down there. Kentucky will have to go 79 if they're going to do it on this drive to tie the score.
Well, I think, again, that's the opening kickoff, I believe, went to Hughes. And one thing, he may be one of the fastest kids in the state, but, you know, you got to catch that ball on kickoff when it comes right into your breadbasket in order to make some of those big plays. And, again, when you drop it, it throws off the timing of the whole return.
Second time today that Hughes has dropped a kickoff, not been able to get up the field. So Kentucky from their own 21. Hatcher is under center. He'll probably be your quarterback the rest of the way out. Hands off quickly up the middle. Stopped for only a gain of about 2.
That man again.
Derek Griffin on the carry out of Scribner Middle. But it's Tennessee's Jeremiah Jackson with his 10th tackle of the game. He's in double figures now and just has been a terror on defense. Kentucky can't stop him.
I mean, how many times have we called Jeremiah Jackson today? He's everywhere. He's a tackling machine.
Just a yard pickup to the 22 for Griffin. Passing. complete. This is Key, and he slipped after he caught it at the 24. Would have probably had to make a move, but that's not out of his repertoire.
Nah, Key is he's a pretty good football player. I've watched him play several games over the last year. One thing you'd like to see right there is him catch the ball and just try to beat the man to the sideline and then possibly cut it back. Sometimes, you know, on these turf fields, it's a little difficult to try to cut back immediately on any field. But nonetheless, it's a catch, and Kentucky's got to respond here.
3rd down and 7. Hatcher's going to throw again, looking down the field, and a jersey grabbed off the back of Zaire Hughes. The corner over there was number 1, Mark Pruitt, and Pruitt grabbed his jersey to try and prevent him from getting away. He knew that he had a little more speed, and he commits the penalty.
You know what? If I'm coaching Pruitt right now, I am not upset with that penalty whatsoever.
That's a touchdown, maybe?
It's a touchdown waiting to happen. It's really, hey, that goes to show that this kid, Pruitt, for Tennessee, knows how to play this game. He knew he was beat. He grabbed on, so I'd rather give up a 10, 15-yard penalty instead of a touchdown. That's a great play by the corner, and it works out for a 1st down for Kentucky.
There you see Pruitt, maybe a good play. We'll see how it comes out. Ball at the 39, 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle, cutting to the left now. Good run by Gentry, getting into Tennessee territory at the 44, knocked out of bounds by Carrick Jones.
Nice vision right there off the left side to find the running room by Gentry. Nice cut. Good pickup for Kentucky's offense. Again, Kentucky's offense, they are establishing the line of scrimmage.
Moving the football, 17-yard run that time by Gentry. Into Tennessee territory, as I said, 1st and 10 at the 44. Hatcher trying to set his backfield. Sends 3, trips to the right. That's White in the backfield. He's going to throw a little bubble screen this time to Hughes. Little speed will get him out there. Can he escape? Held on for dear life. Football comes out, I believe, at the end, but he was already knocked out of bounds at the 19.
Well, that right there shows us what kind of talent he has. I mean, once the ball got in his hands, you saw instantly what he could do. Nice little bubble screen, get it in his hands quick, couple good blocks, nice block by Key. He turns on some speed. Unfortunately, he comes up limping and runs off the sideline right there after the play.
Looks right at the end. You may catch it here at the end of this replay that one of the Tennessee tacklers just kind of landed on his leg a little bit funny right there.
Yeah.
And now a handoff to the middle of the field. This is White again, and White will get inside the 15, close to the 14. It's a pickup of 5. Clock running. It's getting close to 6 minutes left to go in the game. Kentucky trying to answer here, down a touchdown.
Right now, Kentucky's offense is in a very good rhythm. They got a little mixture of the pass and the run. It's got Tennessee off guard a little bit. They're playing with a little tempo.
Are we starting to see Tennessee's defense start to wear down a little bit?
I don't know if they're wearing down, but I think Kentucky's doing a good job of mixing their plays up.
Griffin on the carry. Not able to get too much, but down to the 12, a couple. It'll bring up 3rd and 3, and a big play coming up here for Kentucky. And it looks like maybe Hatcher going to the sideline.
It's like he's coming over to get the play.
Was there a penalty flag here?
I don't see a flag on the field, but
officials are talking at the 15.
Some kind of discussion going on down there, isn't it?
Clock is running. They haven't stopped the clock yet.
They just stopped the clock.
And the official half-heartedly waved his arms to stop the clock with 5:01 remaining in the contest. 3rd and a long 3 coming up. And I believe did somebody call a timeout here?
Oh, there was a flag. It looked like the official's picking up a flag over there right now.
It's against Tennessee, a personal foul call. This is huge. It's going to give Kentucky a 1st down, I believe. It'll be half the distance to the goal line.
maybe they, I don't know, maybe they called that right there, the extra.
The whistle had already blown is what we're being told.
A little extra throw to the ground there.
Personal foul call. Tennessee wants to talk about it now. They thought it was going to be a third down call. It's actually going to be a first down and goal to go at the 7-yard line. And we'll keep it right here with 5:01 left to go in the game. Tennessee now nearing about 105 yards in penalties. They have shot themselves in the foot. Kentucky has controlled the line of scrimmage. But, Craig, we look up. It's a miracle Tennessee is on the scoreboard with a 7-point lead.
Well, again, it comes back to big plays. You know, 2 big plays in the run game. 1 big play in the run game and 1 big play in the pass game is the difference right now between the Kentucky and Tennessee score. Tennessee's up because they had big plays.
Here's another look, Craig, by the way, of the end of the play there on the run by Griffin. And what we're being told is at the end, the whistle had already blown, and they still threw him down, and we're not stopping.
Yeah, just a little excessive right there. I don't know about that. I don't know if I call that.
Got to protect the All-Stars, I guess, in an 8th grade All-Star game, maybe a little bit, but we're ready to go.
I didn't see an extra shove or anything.
We just saw number 5, Zaire Hughes of Kentucky's future stars being carted off the field and now being escorted up the ramp to the locker room. They'll be without his services for the rest of the game. Handoff up the middle, not even touched. It is a touchdown for Jamison White from 6 yards away. That's his first touchdown of the day.
Well, I tell you what, you talk about it for an offensive lineman, what you want to create are gaping holes. And right there, Jamison had a gaping hole. Watch this. Look how big this hole is for him to run through.
Could I have gotten through that hole, Craigie?
I believe you may have squeaked through there.
White now on the afternoon, as I said, that's his first touchdown, but rushing-wise, he's getting up around 80 yards rushing, I believe, on the ground. And extra point coming up, a false start on Kentucky will back this up a little way, and that's huge. With Kentucky down 1 point, needing this extra point to tie, there wasn't a lot of distance on the last extra point by Tyler Garcia.
Well, he just kicked one, and it looked like he has the distance to get it there, but you know, anytime you back up 5, it changes things. So let's see what happens.
83 yards on 15 carries for White. Extra point, low line drive. Did he get it through? Yes, he did. Kentucky ties it. It was unorthodox, but it is a 14-14 score. We're going to take a timeout. 4:57 to go in the game. We've got one you don't want to leave right now. Who will come out on top, Kentucky or Tennessee? It's the Future Stars Classic. Got a little pushing and shoving going on down there, and that's the quarterback Hatcher of Kentucky's Future Stars, jawing with big number 90, Emmett Gooden, the defensive end, and that's where the penalty flag came from a little bit ago, right at the end of the play, and that was huge for Kentucky as they extended their drive, 14-14. They have been able to tie this score, and 3 ticks less than 5 minutes is all that remains as Garcia will kick the ball away. Line drive bouncing at the 35, taken at the 20, and up the left side of the field. This is Rashawn Freeman, and Freeman able to get up across the 40 before he's stonewalled and taken down at the 41-yard line.
It was a nice little shifty return right there by, you said Freeman?
I believe that's Freeman that was able. It was number 15.
Yeah, number 15.
Getting
it is
up
Freeman.
The field.
Quick little jitterbug. We call skeet skirt.
Skeet skirt.
Skeet skirt. Little quickness on him.
Of course, you played in a small town. Some of these young men playing in a small town for their middle school football. You're out of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Population 2,000, 1,000 of those with the last name Yeast, I believe. Am I correct?
I don't know about that. There are some Parkses, some Mukes, and some Bryants, and there's a Duns. There's some mixture down there.
There's the handoff, end around, and now going to throw downfield is Tillery. Got a man, and it is incomplete. They're going to call pass interference, bumping in. Never even turning to look at the football was Mason Allstott. Intended receiver was Adrian Thomas, but this is going to be a penalty, and Coach Key is out there letting the official know there is no way that's a penalty. He went straight up, but this young man never turned his head. Nice arm by Tillery to get this downfield.
Well, you had to know at some point they've ran this little reverse action. They've hit it for a couple big plays on the run. They've hit it for a big touchdown on the reverse fake. And now they come back with the reverse pass. I think if Allstott turns around.
Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of contact.
There wasn't a lot of contact, but I think if he turns around right there, he might intercept that football.
I think you might be right. Ball on the Kentucky side of the 50 now at the 43. Tennessee late with a man coming onto the field. Tillery didn't believe he was supposed to be in the play. Handoff up the middle. Not a whole lot.
Fullback.
The quarterback in is Elrod. And up to the 40 on the 3-yard pickup. Trying to see who come off the bottom of the pile on that one. I believe that may have been Camp again on the carry.
I believe it was Camp. He came up holding his shoulder, running off the field there too.
2nd and 7. Fumble
Ball's
on the ground. Who's going to come up with this?
Yep.
I believe
Tennessee.
that Sproles was able to fall on it. He was. At the 43-yard line, it'll be a 3rd down and 10 call, but Sproles, Johnny on the spot. He was the last man in the I formation, Craig.
Yes.
Wasn't involved in the handoff. That was supposed to go, I believe, to Andrew Goldsmith, the first man through, but luckily they had Sproles there waiting to pounce on it.
Yeah, it's a good thing he was there because that could have been a huge momentum shift if Kentucky would have came up with the turnover right there. A quarterback, running back exchange, balls on the ground, that should never happen. But, sometimes it does, and balls on the ground. Now it's a 3rd and long situation.
Huge play here, 3rd and 10, 3:15 remaining in the game. Goldsmith and Sproles in the backfield. Elrod, long snap count, will then go end around to Tillery. Tillery trying to get to the right side. He may pick up the 1st down. He will, and then out of bounds at the 31. They'll extend the drive. Coming over is Alexander of Kentucky to knock out of bounds Tillery.
I think the issue is who has contain on this play. Kentucky, their defensive ends, their outside linemen, somebody has to have contain on this play. And every time they've ran it, they've gotten outside. Somebody has to have the contain. Somebody's got to turn it back inside.
Tillery with 4 carries, 18 yards. That play for 15. 1st and 10 at the 30 of Kentucky. Elrod turns. Will give it to the 2nd man, the tailback, and met at the line of scrimmage. Lococo stood up the running back. That was number 32 or 23, Kendall Johnson out of Donaldson Middle.
Again, there was not a very clean exchange by the quarterback and the running back there in that situation.
Lococo making the defensive call, and you see the replay here of Johnson's run. Lococo right there in the middle, that distinctive Michigan State colored green helmet.
Yeah.
The only one out on the field with that color.
He did a nice job right there, just fitting him up, exploding his hips through the running back, and not allowing an inch after contact. Very well done.
A timeout called by Tennessee. They didn't have the right personnel on the field. That was Adrian Thomas who was trying to get off, but Tennessee realized they were going to get called for the penalty. 2:17 on the clock. We're tied at 14 as your screen says, and Tennessee faced with a 2nd and 10 from the Kentucky 30. Not sure about Nichols' range as a kicker, a place kicker, but who knows, a field goal could probably be in order here to maybe end things this afternoon, or otherwise we'll go into overtime. Now, overtime, Craig, in this All-Star game will be regular Kentucky high school rules.
Oh, okay, 10-yard line.
So that's what we'll do if we reach an overtime here in this All-Star Classic.
Well, it could come down to a field goal, but I'm not sure if nickel has the leg to kick it from this distance. I'm not sure very many high school field goal kickers have the leg to kick it from this distance.
Now, of course, overtime rules would be alternating possessions. The two teams would go back and forth to see who they would get a set of downs of 4 to try and get 10 yards, get into the end zone from the 10-yard line. That's what the Kentucky high school rules are. Much like college, only college starts from the 25 and go alternating possessions from there. I'm assuming they would flip a coin to see who would have the first shot at it in overtime. Elrod under center now, 2nd and 10. One back in the backfield. It's Johnson. Fakes the handoff. Rolls right. Looks to throw. I believe he caught it. Nope, incomplete. Trapped it over there on the sideline, right in front of the Kentucky bench. About 20 blue-clad players down there helping the officials make that call.
It was a sea of blue over there waving their arms. Incomplete. I think he did make the catch. I just think his body was out of bounds when he did. Hey, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at Hughes now playing defense. He's back in the game. He's on defense. He was in on that play.
3rd and 10. Tennessee just converted a 3rd and 10 a moment ago with a 15-yard run by Tillery. And now we'll see him try to convert one more 3rd down. 14 all.
Well, right now, the Kentucky defense, what they need to do is make sure they know who has contained.
And a flag. Is this a substitution or a delay of game call? It is a delay of game. Huge call here on Tennessee. Now up around 108 penalty yards on the afternoon.
You know, that is
110.
That is a killer. There have been so many penalties today by Tennessee. They're hurting themselves.
3rd and 15. Fake the handoff. Now throwing back across the way. Complete this time to Gage Upshaw, the tight end. He'll get stopped before he gets to the line of the first down marker.
Just short.
By about a yard to the 21. It'll be 4th and 1 on the next play for Tennessee. You got to think that they're going to go for it.
I believe they'll go for it with 2 minutes to go. You know, if you look at this, they went to this play earlier in the tight end there. Upshaw kind of fell on his back when he caught the ball, and it was wide open then. So Kentucky did a little bit better of reading it this time, but still big yardage for Tennessee. Nice play call in a situation where they needed a play.
That's a 14-yard reception by Upshaw. He's got 3 catches for 42 yards today in this game. Very quietly, Upshaw has had a good game. One extra man on the field. This would be a substitution penalty. It is a substitution penalty on Tennessee. And we mentioned it just moments ago. They've really hurt themselves today with the Hankies.
I mean, as a coach,
you're just looking at the ground as soon as that penalty. You're like, that's bugging me.
I mean, it is. You know, I'm a coach, and, you know, anytime you break the huddle, I mean, these are just mental mistakes. I mean, they're not things that you do or you're just playing hard. It's just a mental mistake. Again, who has contained?
Left side, 1st down and more as he got around the defense and down inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. Now they're in field goal kicking range.
How many times have they ran that play?
Yes, you're
and
right.
How many times has Kentucky's defensive ends or linebackers not kept contained?
You're
It's
exactly
another
right.
Classic case.
And again, I will say this about the offense. So often we saw that play being run to the right side. That time they go opposite way and go left, Greg.
I mean, but, you know, you got a defensive end right there. He's completely unblocked on that play.
1st and goal from the 7. Goldsmith is in there, so is Johnson. They'll go to Goldsmith, flag down. Goldsmith will get a couple, still fighting to the 4, and brought down. But the flag is on the field. This time it may be a motion penalty.
It looks like it's going to be another penalty on Tennessee.
It came from the back judge. Illegal shift against Tennessee, so that will back them up with 1:07 to go on the clock.
Looks like they could very well be in field goal range right here.
That's exactly right. And the ball will be at the 12.
Again, though, penalties are just really negating some of the things that Tennessee is doing. But even with the penalties, they're able to convert.
I'm going to ask you this. 120 penalty yards. What would your coaches have done when you walked into the locker room after the game?
Not what my coaches would have done, what I would have done.
Clock running and another penalty flag.
Oh, my goodness.
This one may be Kentucky for offsides.
No, it's going to be on Tennessee again.
Yep, they're marking them back, correct, to the 17.
There's another penalty on Tennessee.
Let's watch the left side here. Where's the motion coming from? The defensive lineman moved, but he's allowed to get back. You're not going to be able to move that tight end over there. That's Upshaw, who's had such a great game. He moved just a little bit. Handoff, no. Elrod moving, rolling. Right side, complete. This is Upshaw. Gets around the man. Touchdown. Made the move and got into the end zone. Tennessee takes the lead.
What a move, Upshaw. What a move by Upshaw.
No flags on the field. Tennessee didn't shoot themselves in the foot that time. A 17-yard pass completion from Elrod to the tight end Upshaw. That's his first touchdown of the afternoon and his fourth catch. Upshaw with a nice little total so far, 59 yards.
Allstat had him dead to the right, and Upshaw just really sat him down and then hit another little burst of speed and ran away from him to score a touchdown. Great play by Upshaw.
Late personnel coming onto the field. They were too short, Tennessee was. Finally getting their men up. And the kick is up. It'll be short. They're not going to get this one.
No good.
It'll be no good. That will keep the lead at 6. If some miracle happens here, Kentucky with 37.3 seconds left could potentially, if they were to get a big play here, could win the game with an extra point.
Well, right there with missing that extra point, that kind of leaves the door open with 37 seconds for Kentucky. If they can find a way to march down the field in 37.3 seconds, hey, they can give themselves a chance to win.
Absolutely. Tennessee scores, misses the extra point. It was a 17-yard pass play from Elrod to Gage Upshaw. Fourth catch of the afternoon, 59 yards and a touchdown.
Here it is right here, a nice little waggle play. The tight end comes across. Allstar's got him. Oh, he misses the tackle. He makes a move on him. He can't recover, and touchdown Tennessee.
5 for
Gage
12
Upshaw
today for Elrod. 2 touchdowns passing the football. 145 passing yards. There's the play again. Upshaw doing a little posturing after getting into the end zone. Very good job today by Elrod, who was not the starter.
Yes.
Jones was the starter. Elrod comes in as the second guy, and he's been the more effective of the two quarterbacks.
After a play like that, he's entitled to do just a little bit of posturing. No taunting, but a little bit of posturing to say, I just made a great play.
Nichols
Or
kick
you could just give it to the referee.
goes to Key. 13-yard line. Up the field. Stood up. Gets away from one. Still fighting across the 30. And will be stopped at the 31-yard line. 26.9 remaining. Kentucky will get a couple of plays here. They have 2 timeouts left on their side of the scoreboard. Something big is going to happen for this team right now.
Well, they need something spectacular to happen right now if they want to win this football game. They have got to get the ball into the end zone some way, somehow. Somebody's got to make a play.
So you're going to see your better athletes in the game at this point for Rico Hughes, the head coach of the Kentucky Future Stars.
Right now, if you're Tennessee, you want to make sure all your secondary backs up.
Hatcher will throw left side looking for Hughes. It is dropped by the defensive back. That time it was Carrick Jones who had a step, kept Hughes in front of him, and was able to knock the football away. Probably should have had an interception.
I tell you what, offense turned to defense, and this was a great play by Hughes to knock that ball out. Great job right there to keep the hopes for Kentucky faithful alive.
Kentucky suffered a huge defeat in this game last year, something of a 40-6 type score, but this year they performed much better. Just right now, they're on the short end of the scoreboard, 20-14, 20.8 remaining. Hatcher, handoff. This time it's to Clark. Clark will get up to the 35 And a timeout called by Kentucky. They get some positive yards, not near enough. They tried to move a little in from the outside into the middle of the field and didn't get them too much.
I'm not sure if I like that call. I mean, it's, you never want to second guess a coach. That's not what I'm doing. But,
got to take your shots.
you got to take some shots. You want the ball to hit the ground if it's not complete so that the clock does not continue to run. You want to save those timeouts as much as you can. When you run the ball, if you don't pick up huge yardage, you have to call that timeout and use it.
Rico Hughes, Dante Key, some of the other coaches, Coach Hatcher of the defense, down on the sideline. Coach Hatcher just lending advice where he can.
This has been a fantastic game so far up to this point, and it's going right down to the wire. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Third down, but the down's irrelevant with 15.2 to go. Kentucky's got to take a shot or two. Three receivers over to the right side. They're going to pitch to Hughes. Hughes down the field, first down, and then knocked out of bounds at the 49. 9 seconds remaining. Clock stops with Hughes going out of bounds. They may have two opportunities here with 9 seconds, depending on what they do with play number one.
Well, you see the speed of Hughes. If shoulda, woulda, coulda, if you could have found a way to get the ball in that young man's hands a little more often, you never know, because it's obvious when the ball is in his hands, he has more than just 1 or 2 gears. He's probably got about 4 or 5.
The pickup was one of 13 yards for Hughes. But again, a moot point if Kentucky cannot push this into the end zone in the next couple of opportunities. Maybe only one opportunity left here. They used a timeout. Or are they? No, they're looking. I'm sorry, it's not a timeout. They're actually looking at an injured player. Tennessee has an injured player on the sideline right near the 43-yard line. And the trainer over there with them right now. They're not on the field of play, but they are right near the sideline. You see on your screen at this moment. And they are looking at that player, attending to him. They'll wait till that situation is resolved before we get back to play. So Kentucky does still have a timeout remaining.
Can't quite see who the injured player is, but hopefully it's something minor. And he can get up under his own power and be fine and ready to go when it comes time for him to hit the high school practice fields.
It is a beautiful facility that we are, our host has been for this event here at St. X High. They
Absolutely.
have really got things going first class here, as you would expect from a program that has such tradition as St. X High does in football.
Oh, yeah. I mean, St. X, a wonderful tradition in the state of Kentucky when it comes to high school football. So, it's top of the line. I thought I was driving in this morning to a big-time college football program.
That may have been Jeremiah Jackson that was injured at the end of that play over there. They get him up and get him off to the bench. He was not going off under his own power so much as being helped by teammates. Hatcher goes back to his running back. That is Hughes in the backfield. Lets him know of any changes. 3 wide to the right. They're going to pitch back to Hughes. Escapes one man, throws downfield, looking for his receiver, but that was thrown out of bounds, and a flag coming in later. I think they're going to pick this up. They're going to say that this was an uncatchable ball.
Yeah, it looks like that ball was high and outside. Just a bit outside.
The referee coming over, Victor Bush, to make sure he's got the call right. And they are waving that flag off as an uncatchable pass. And with 2.2 seconds remaining, Kentucky will have one last shot to try and get this into the end zone. Tennessee with the 6-point lead. Hatcher comes on the field with the play from Coach Rico Hughes. And we'll see what this team comes up with their last opportunity.
Well, it looks like it's down to this play right here, Jim, to determine if Kentucky's going to make a fantastic play or if Tennessee's going to stop them and hold them off and win the game. Here we go.
Hatcher with a snap. Pitch to Hughes. Hughes left side. Running hard. Has to cut. Does get away from one. Big curtain that he's going to have to get away from, and he doesn't. Knocked out of bounds at the 29 by Ulysses Straughter, and that will end the contest. It was a great one to watch. This is going to be a fun one to watch afterwards. We're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
Have to get the DVR out for this one. This will be fun to watch over and over again. But Tennessee, the victory in the second of this series, the Kentucky-Tennessee Future All-Star Classic, 20-14. Tennessee with the victory, and it was a defensive struggle. Both teams scoreless at halftime, but they were able to get on the board in the second half, back and forth. Tennessee just happened to have it near the end of the contest. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap things up when we return from St. X High in Louisville. Final score, 20-14, Tennessee over Kentucky in the second of this future All-Star football series. As Kentucky played much better than they did last year, but they come up short. It was a couple of big plays on offense for Tennessee. A long running play in the third quarter, long passing play in the fourth quarter. They just gave up too many of those big shots and couldn't overcome that.
Well, it was a case today of, again, fantastic defense from both sides of the ball. Lots of penalties from the Tennessee side, lots of big plays from the Tennessee side, and not quite enough plays for the Kentucky side.
The kind of a couple of MVPs here in this contest. The defense of Tennessee was led by Jeremiah Jackson, who had 10 tackles on the afternoon, a fumble recovery, just all over the place for his defensive unit. Elrod, the quarterback of Tennessee, that's Landon Elrod out of McCauley in Chattanooga, had a decent afternoon throwing the football, 5 of 12 for 145 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And the tight end, Gage Upshaw, with 5 catches for 59 yards and a touchdown. This team put things together when they had to do it, Craig. So Tennessee comes away with the victory again this year. But Kentucky getting closer. We see this series starting to even up a bit.
Well, I think that in the long run, this will turn out to be a great series. I was fortunate when I was in high school to play in the Kentucky-Tennessee All-Star game. They no longer do that. There's a couple other games. There's the Border Bowl,
sure.
And then you have this middle school game, which I think is a great tradition, and they've started something here. So great game today. You know, got a chance to see some really good kids. Hope that they have a great future, and I will just really look forward to watching some of these kids when they grow up.
Good to work with you again, Craig Yeast. My name is Jim Tyree. Thanks for joining us for the Kentucky-Tennessee Future All-Star Football Classic. We'll leave you with the final score, Tennessee 20, Kentucky 14. Have a good evening.
An exclusive.
Up with the steal, gets it ahead to Miller. And that rebound is pulled down by Ty, as Tyler Ty is checked into the